I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just asking. I'm just at the title, the king. I'm sure it's gonna be. I can't wait to watch it. I know the series gonna be great. ESPN, we do our thing with that. It's the title that I got an issue with right there.
Okay.
I mean.
Stephen A., I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad you brought up the Super Bowl, because that's really where I want to go when we're looking at the teams like Philly and KC. Which team's more likely to return to the Super Bowl? Swaggo, you kick this one off. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, I heard Stephen A. already say it. The Eagles for me too. And look, the NFC there's less to go through. I still have a healthy respect for Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, and you just play the numbers. Like we've seen this era in which Patrick Mahomes is doing it, this is a high-level quarterback era, and he continues to beat these guys, but you just would think sheer numbers, at some point somebody will get them and represent the AFC. I think the Eagles are still the best team in the NFC. I think the roster is still the best. I think the quarterback is perfect for what they do and playing at a high level, even though people don't want to give him credit. This young defense showed you what they could potentially be week in and week out. So I think the Eagles have the best chance. I think the Eagles still I think they'll be in position to get a first round bye. The Commanders obviously will be a challenge for them, I believe, if Jay Daniels continues to ascend. But Philly, to me, has the easier route because it's less wars and attrition in that conference, man.
Swagoo, everything you said about the Philadelphia Eagles is true, but I will counter with this. It's hard to eat when you're full. And you mentioned all the young guys on the defensive side of the ball for the Philadelphia Eagles. And make no mistake, that is the identity of that team. You're talking about second, third, fourth-year players. The worst thing that can happen to you in football and in life is for everybody to be patting you on the back and telling you how good you are. Your former coach, Nick Saban, used to always call it rat poison. Don't take the cheese. You remember hearing that from him and Bill Parcells? That's what it is.
Yo, coach Bill.
So while I believe in the sports character of Jalen Hurts, you still have to contend with those guys going through an entire offseason with already being crowned as the team to beat. So there is that element. Saquon Barkley, rushed for over 2,000 yards. That's not going to happen again. How do I know that? Because there have been 8 other running backs in NFL history to do that. And the following seasons, those guys have averaged 966 fewer rushing yards. So I'm not quite sure that we can have that same level of productivity from the Eagles year over year. I still think they're the team to beat in their division. I still think they're contenders. But if I got to pick between the two, I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs have a better chance of getting back there because confidence comes from demonstrated performance, and I've seen that group do it every single year.
Demonstrated performance. Philadelphia Eagles been in 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. And they just
that ain't the same as 5 of the last 6. Stephen A., that ain't the same as 5 of the last 6.
Yo, are you a Janet Jackson fan? Are you a Janet Jackson fan? I still am to this very day. What have you done for me lately? Okay? I'm thinking about the last 3 years. Don't give me the last 5, 6 years. How about the last 3? Eagles been in 2 of them. Both them and the Kansas City Chiefs got titles to show for it. I'm going to go with that. That's number 1. Number 2, the road to prosperity is a bit more difficult in the AFC, in my estimation. That's what I'm looking at. Can we sit here honestly, CC and Swagoo, and say that there's any excuse whatsoever outside of the Herculean excellence of a Patrick Mahomes? Can we honestly say there's a legitimate excuse for the Baltimore Ravens not to be coming out of the AFC for the Super Bowl this year with what they got on their squad? They loaded. We saw Buffalo and what Josh Allen could do. We know what Cincinnati could do offensively and how they could put up buckets like we just said. We can't summarily dismiss Denver right now with the way that they're looking, how elite their defense is expected to be. You got Harbaugh with the Chargers. You got C.J. Stroud and them brothers in Houston. I mean, the road in the AFC is no joke. That's what I'm looking at, and I'm saying I look at that compared to the Eagles and what they have. I'm like, why would I say Kansas City got a better chance? I can't do that. Can't do that.
No.
Fair enough. All right.
Nope, I do not. He didn't lose to Mahomes last year. It was Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. It's Joe Burrow a few years ago. Listen, Josh Allen is absolutely phenomenal, and you made a great case for him being the best quarterback to never make a Super Bowl. But we always tend to forget that these guys are technically bunched up at the top with Mahomes sitting at number one. When it comes to Burrow, when it comes to Lamar Jackson, when it comes to Josh Allen. And what happens now is that we were waiting to see if any other quarterbacks enter the fray. This is no indictment on Josh. Josh is the quarterback who's played well enough against Pat, outside of Joe Burrow, who's beat him, to win. That's the notch that he has on Lamar Jackson right now. Josh actually can turn the film on and say, you know what? I outplayed Pat Mahomes, or I played to a level where my team should have been able to go and compete to win a championship. We've seen Lamar not play to that level, so that's the one side. But we've also seen Lamar beat Josh Allen in the playoffs. We've also seen Joe Burrow beat Josh Allen. And I get all of this talk about the team because I'm one of those guys. I play defense. I like to bring everybody into the frame. But that is not how we gonna frame these conversations. We always gonna frame them on quarterback against quarterback. So Josh has to get over the hump of, one, getting an opportunity to play potentially Pat Mahomes, but also doing it and his team coming through at the end of the day, because he's played well enough to get them into a Super Bowl already.
I mean, Swagger's point is right. We're going to boil it down to the players, the quarterbacks at a certain point. But you can look through Mahomes' career and talk about all the different things that happened to allow him to have the success he had that he didn't have any impact on. You could do the same thing for Josh Allen, for the deep ball to Kincaid, I think it was last year. That was catchable. The one to Stephon Diggs the year before, that was catchable. Like, he's doing the things. And then, of course, the 13-second one, which is
one of the worst losses in postseason history. And the idea that you would put that on the quarterback's ledger obviously makes no sense, but that is the world in which we live. So the people in Buffalo will tell you they are
championships.
Yeah.
But again, championships. Listen, man, for as good as these teams are, and as good as Mahomes has been in these Super Bowl teams we've seen win, everybody that plays football knows that it takes the bounce of the ball the right way. It takes a little bit of luck. It takes those one or two plays going your way. And the thing that is so crazy about what we've seen the Chiefs do is it always seems to work out for them. But Josh has had those opportunities, and they just haven't been able to execute them. We had a drop pass to Mark Andrews last year that might have sent game into overtime. So again, it's all of those things.
Absolutely, as it always is. So again, the folks in Buffalo like to tell you they're New York State's only football team.